When did you begin your yoga journey? I contemplate this a lot, and in my trainings and my courses, it's really something to dive into, and it's often something that happens long before you ever set foot in a yoga class. And so, where I started my yoga journey, if I look back in my life, it goes way back until probably the age of 4 or 5, and I attribute this to my daddy, and daddy came into my life when I was 2. He passed away too soon when I was 9 years old. So he was there for this very influential growing period of my life, an exploring period. And when I was about, I would say 4 or 5 years old, I remember sitting in his lap. And daddy was a minister in a local church in Kansas, where I grew up, and yet he was very progressive. He was very forward thinking. And I remember sitting on his lap one time and just thinking and contemplating and talking as a 4 or 5 year old can do. And I said, you know what, Daddy, I have it figured out. There's a big God in you. There's a medium-sized God in Mom. There's a little God in me, and then there's a teeny tiny God in my dog, Corey. And Daddy looked at me and he said, you know what? I think you got it right. And for a minister in the Christian religion to say that, some people would call it sacrilegious, to have this idea and even encourage this idea in a child that there's a God in each of us. And really that gets to the heart of yoga. There is, or God exists in and through each one of us. And so however you relate to that, I can go into the yoga philosophy and the kosha system or in the kosha model. We have this physical body, then we have an energetic body, then we have the body of emotional mind, and then we have the body of intellect, we have the bliss body, and then finally we get to the heart, and that is Atma. Atma is the center, the core of our being, the true self, and that true self is non-changing. It is ever existing. And that Atma is the same as the universal principle of Brahma. And so Brahma being the universal principle, we could say that is God. And so yes, that God lives in and through each one of us. And this was that idea that I formulated way back when I was 5 years old. And I've held that. And I am so grateful that Daddy was the influence in my life that he was, because he didn't stop me from wondering and questioning and being open and being curious. And in fact, he had the attitude that the children know more because they are closer to God. And so holding that has led me through the path that I took to get to my own studies and then my own teaching of yoga. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching.